if you want to buy a print of one of my illustrations, these are the originals here, which you can certainly look at and take photos and whatever, but they're not on sale, okay? That's going to be a memory for me to keep forever. It's the first time I ever illustrated anything. But I hear that Sonia's going to say a few kind words about me. So I'll let her start with her, whatever she's going to say about me. It's a bit scary.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. Gail asked me to present the book, and she said to me initially, please don't talk about me. But then I had to tell her, I'm not very good at taking orders, especially at my age, and I am going to talk about you. So in the end, she agreed. I'd like to give Gail what she's worth. I go back, I've known Gail for a number of years, but I go back to 1985 when I was presenting the Miss Gibraltar show at the time, and I was lucky enough to be able to say, and the Miss Gibraltar winner tonight is Gail Francis. And she impressed us all. We were all thrilled. We saw how beautiful she was, but she actually looked amazing on stage. She still does, though. And from that moment on, I got to know Gail even more than I had previously, and I found out that she was, as the cliche goes, as beautiful inside as in the outside. But her talent is what I want to talk about. The first book she wrote goes back to 1985, when she actually wrote about her experiences in the Miss World contest. And I think that that's a legacy she's left for every other contestant who can get tips, and when they go to the Miss World, know more or less what to expect. And she's in the process of writing another book now because she enjoys writing and she's good at it. And this book is about children, and it's a funny book, or so she says, and she tells the stories of the things that children, funny things that children do and say. So we expect that to be happening sometime late next year. Is that correct? But apart from that, as you all know, she's a fantastic artist, and she paints all types of things. She goes into the scenic things. She paints a lot of scenes from Gibraltar. She does nature. She does animals. In fact, if you go to her webpage, she has my favorite picture on the webpage, which is a zebra. And what I like about it is that the background is the background of a zebra, and how she has managed, it must have been pretty difficult, to actually paint another zebra on top of that prominent background and still make it so attractive and interesting. That's my favorite, okay? And I should be talking a little bit more about the book, but what I want to say is that because she's never painted people before, she was a little bit adamant initially to do the illustrations for the book, but she loves to take on challenges, and she did. And as you will see for yourselves behind me here and in the book, when you buy it hopefully later, you'll be able to find out that she has achieved what we all expected. It's a wonderful book. The paintings are beautiful, and I think that the rest, the experience of how it happened, it should be Gail who tells you firsthand. Thank you.
Sonia is a beautiful person also, inside and out, and she does so much, and for me it's an honor that she's opened the exhibition for me. Just to tell you a bit about the book and how it came about. During last year's Gibraltar Literary Festival, I was extremely fortunate to have been assigned to work as a guide for the visiting authors. It was then that Carmen Cordero Amores, renowned for her humanitarian literary works, saw my painting Frog Chorus hanging in Jane Langdon's gallery. Jane Langdon, I suppose you're in here. I am. It's a good plug for your gallery. And thank you, Jane, wonderful artist. Well, Carmen had been looking for an illustrator and asked if I would provide the artwork for her next book, which was aimed at a younger audience. This was my first commission as a book illustrator, and I was honored and very excited to have been given the challenge to contribute to a book which is written in 2 languages and delivers both an environmental and humanitarian message. Environmental because Silvina can talk to animals, and it is her mission to help those in distress. Humanitarian because Carmen and I have proved that Spaniards and Gibraltarians can work side by side as human beings and not hold any political grudges. Now we have two very special guests who will read from the book. The first one is also a budding young artist who also displayed some of her work in my last exhibition, and I'm sure she's going to be really, really famous one day. And she's very kindly offered to be Silvina today and read an English page of the book. So Emma, over to you.
One spring afternoon, Silvina and her friends were playing in a field just outside the village when a butterfly began to spin around her, trying to get her attention. The butterfly spread its multicolored wings, made several spins around her head and her few passes, grazing her face. Then it cried out, "Help! Please! It's horrible what he's doing to us! Please! Please help!" The little girl heard a strange distant murmur. She could not identify and asked her friends to be silent for a moment. She looked closely from an origin of the desperate little voice that seemed to come from far away. She soon realized that the butterfly fluttering around her was trying to say something to her, but she could not understand it. She offered it his finger to pose on, without having to fly and cry at the same time. The butterfly's voice became clearer. "Calm down, friend," she said, while bringing the butterfly close to her ear. "I can barely hear you. We are being hunted." The butterfly was trembling with fear. "He's caught my sisters. Some of them have already died from suffocation, and many others will die soon. That bad man, he puts them in glass jars. What? That's awful. Who can do such a thing?"
That's really good. Now, my second little helper, unfortunately, has fallen ill today. And it's really sad because she was really, really looking forward to tonight, and she reads like a little angel. So instead, I've got a grandmother, Sonia, who's going to try and fit herself into her little shoes, and she's going to read a Spanish page from the book.
Tienes razón, Pedro, afirmó. Voy a preguntarle a mamá. ¿Y qué podemos hacer nosotros mientras tanto?, preguntó Nico. De momento podréis vigilar por el pueblo y el camino del río. Quizás encontréis a alguien que lleve un cazamariposas o algo así. Bueno, cualquier cosa que sirva para atrapar insectos. ¿Por qué no organizamos una vigilancia como en las películas de policías y ladrones? Eso, gritó Nico, muy contento de entrar en acción. Me encantan las películas, casi tanto como las de Harry Potter. Yo también me apunto, me gusta mucho vigilar y atrapar a los malos, respondió Delia muy excitada ante la nueva aventura. Claro, dijo Pedro, a vosotros os encanta cotillear, no me extraña que os guste el plan. A mí no me convence tanto. Bueno, está bien, dijo Silvina, al ver la cara poco entusiasta de Pedro. Podemos hacer 2 equipos, Delia y Nico vigilarán por el pueblo, y tú puedes venir conmigo al hotel. Eso está mejor, sonrió Pedro. Empezaremos por la cocina, el restaurante, luego podemos echarle un vistazo a las habitaciones. Vaya, sonrió también. Y tú eras el que no quería vigilar porque es cosa de cotillas.
Thank you, Stella / Sonia. On the 1st of June this year, at the Madrid International Book Fair, Carmen's bilingual book was launched, named Silvina has a plan, or Silvina tiene un plan. On this occasion, I am the illustrator of the book. Carmen has done all the writing. However, I also love writing myself. A few years back, I published a book based on life as a contestant at a major beauty pageant, proceeds of which went to a local charity. I'm actually selling them today, £5 for Galway House, if anybody's interested. Well, at present I am finishing my second book, and this is the one that is related to the naughty things that children say and do. I believe that I had to meet Carmen, who would indirectly give me the confidence to illustrate a book which would lead to me illustrating my own book. Today I will be signing Garmin's Silvina and selling prints of my illustrations, both of which I will be very happy to sign for you. Once again, many thanks for taking the time to come today. I am honoured and grateful for your interest. I do hope you not only enjoy the book, but get inspired to paint and write. Thank you. And now I move into the corner where I have all the books. You don't have to follow me if you don't want to. Nej kompromisser. You can if you want to. And help yourselves to drinks and crisps and have a little party.